I would never cry to a
PS3 startup.
I am a man.
As a young man born in the mid-2000s, life was the shit back then, man. I was privileged enough to experience many beautiful things that iPad kids of today will never understand. From old tech like Blackberries and iPods, shows like Zeke and Luther and My Babysitter's a Vampire, peak anime like Shaman King and Ultimate Muscle. If you remember this, you're going. But the most important and life-changing moment one can have back then was gaming. Whether it was on the Wii, PS3, or you picked up a burner phone and just started playing Snake. Games are truly a one-of-a-kind experience that forever changes the course of your life for good. I mean, some people get so inspired from what they play, they low-key transition into careers because of it. Pokemon, Animal Trainer. Surgeon Simulator, Surgeon. Crazy ass stunt performer risking their life day by day doing the stupidest shit you've ever seen. Happy Wheels. You see what I'm getting at here? We're all familiar with some of the greats. San Andreas, Wii Sports, Mario Bros. Wii, Jet Set Radio. But my favorite out of the bunch nobody remembers, one of the most underrated, yet important to your character development, games of the decade. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. You get to roll a giant egg. Who doesn't want to do this? It's amazing. The point is, gaming is special. It's sacred. It's a surreal pastime that immerses you in their fictional realities and makes you feel a part of the story. From decision making, different storylines so you have a different ending every time, or you can go ahead to make your own custom character. I used to struggle with this because I'm black, but we can all agree that gaming is something else. Now come to modern day, I've achieved nothing with my life, and the way games have transitioned into this new world has truly been horrible. The planet is ruining this shit, I swear to God, man. Playing on your consoles don't slap as hard as it used to. It's difficult now. And I'm not saying that for every single person or game that comes out. Obviously, there's exceptions to the rule. Shout out to my fellow Blonde Blazer fans on Dispatch. They were wrong about us. But the majority of games that have come out in the most recent years has just been abysmal. Comparing these to games from the 2000s that I grew up on to just about 2020, I'm being generous here, I say it's been mid. So ladies and gentlemen, I thought today I could express a couple of reasons of why games in the 2000s were low-key just better. They clear the bullshit that comes out today, man, I'm telling you. Starting with the most important point of them all, there was less greed. Everybody is too greedy now, it's sick. It's a virus, it's disgusting. Games now cost an arm and a leg to cop. And most of the time when you drop your hard-earned money on this, you have to put an extra £50 on top of the 40 you already paid to get the most out of it. Like when it comes to customizations and making your own character, why do I go and pay more for better shit? This ain't real life shopping. Why are you gatekeeping this fit from me? Trash. It's not like it takes devs an extra 3 years of coding, hardwiring, engineering to make these extra outfits that they really could have just put in their game for free. But apparently they lack generosity. I hate you, man. For most of us console gamers, we have now suffered a couple of years with paying online memberships, putting up at least a minimum of an extra $6.99 a month, upwards to an even $11 or $12.99, just to play COD a couple times a day or rage quit. With those payments, by the end of the year, climbing upwards to an even £120. And you may not notice it being stolen out of your bank account, because a lot of us today are mindless to our spending habits. It's stupid, but deep it, think about it. You're almost paying the same price as a game to play a couple of games of FIFA online, when you probably just dropped that same exact amount on the game, since you wouldn't play it without having an online membership in the first place. I broke your brain. Let me explain it better here. In short, I'm saying that with most titles that have access to online multiplayers, that's solely what most people jump on when they buy the game in the first place. Take 2K for example. Scam! Let's say you buy the game on release. It's gonna cost you about £70 or dollars. Now you cop the game, but to jump in park, which is what 99% of the entire 2K fanbase jumps on, you're now most likely gonna buy VC again, because there's no way you're gonna grind micro for it. That shit takes way too long. So when you go ahead to buy VC, like any other 2K player so they could go ahead to start smoking people in parks straight away, because Ronnie 2K is allergic to normal working class people, the VC you need to even get to an easy 85 overall is almost 200k, and the price of 200k VC in the United Kingdom is £50. So let's do some maths here. If you drop 70 on 2K for its release, then choose to buy 200k VC, with it adding another £50 on top of the game, and whatever online membership you have, which to most Xbox and PlayStation users, I'm guessing is the middle tier, since you want them extra games they got on there, which is about $10.99. So we're talking about spending at least $130.99 for one build. And all you're gonna do on here is go into the park and jump into 2v2 or 3v3s with a squad. You must be some dickhead, man. Why would you pay for this? And this may seem like a bad example because most sports games end up with you paying a bunch of microtransactions anyway. But with 2K, it's the only good basketball sports game out there. There's nothing else. The only thing in mind that comes closest to it is that one game mode in Rocket League. Besides that, my brain is blank. And I'm not even mentioning buying clothes in that game either, where they're charging you 15,000 for shorts. Who are you guys? When back in the times of 2016 and 17, all you needed was $20 and a bit of grit, and you would have yourself a fun time on 2K. And now it's peak out here. I think it's obvious to say that microtransactions have been ruining gaming for the longest time. I mean, companies now got the balls to charge certain prices and know people are gonna go ahead to buy it anyways because they're a fan. It's taking advantage of people. How are they not seeing this themselves? Back in the day, to get any extra stuff on any games, all you had to do was grind for it and then you would eventually get it. Like on Roblox, before we just used to have only Robux, we used to have ticks. And if you remember this, you're a legend. I know you're an OG. You could log in daily and you would get a certain amount of ticks per day, which you could use to buy any accessories, clothing, or game passes you wanted across the platform. It was a free way to look drippy and have everything else people would pay for. It was live back then. Times when the PS3, Wii, and Xbox 360 were still the prime consoles, there was no greed like that. Besides Xbox Live, I feel like you might got hold there. There was no online memberships. You could jump on Little Big Planet with your friends and that's it. You were in the game. Or if you wanted to jump on Black Ops 2 with the Mandem, you could just load up like that. There was no paywall there stopping you from enjoying the game with your friends as soon as you hopped on it. It was amazing. Yet greed has continued to consume our society so much. Now on top of paying for the game, you gotta pay with your left kidney too. It's evil. The effort companies are putting in to make these games is nowhere near the rates they're charging you at. It's impossible. They're overpricing it. They want to triple time how much you spend on it because you know they can. How can you do this to people? No wonder guys are turning over to being pirates. It kind of makes sense. Not to mention, you got companies like Nintendo who want to charge people for music in an open world game. You know how criminal that is? Or how the AI industry has ruined the gaming PC market forever. And now it's no longer going to be cost effective or beginner friendly because RAM is overpriced like this. They'll do whatever they can for money is poison. But on the flip side, on the subject of money, I think a lot of these companies are allergic to making bread too. Like a game that genuinely changed my life as a kid was Infamous Second Son. And if you played this, I know you know this shit is fire, man. This game is single-handedly one of the greatest things to ever grace PlayStation 4. It was amazing. It went clear. It was ahead of its time with the way it looked. It had unique powers like smoke, neon, and video. It had a sick story, which was basically around racism, and it had strong emotional scenes in it. Rest in peace to my guy Reggie, he ain't deserved this, man. And it was one of those games with different endings, where whatever choices you would make throughout the game would either give you the good one or the bad one. In the good ending, my boy Delson beats Augustine, destroys our forces, sets free the rest of the conduits, and heals Betty's leg. And in the bad ending, but this game was truly amazing. I mean, it was one of those that had me mesmerized when I finished it for the first time. It was phenomenal. So much so that I knew at the time as a child, it definitely had to get a sequel, right? They wouldn't leave it hanging. Yeah, just a DLC and that's it. The game died, bro. Why, man? Do you know how generational Infamous is? Bro, I used to watch my cousins play Infamous 2 all the time. Why would you just cancel this game forever? PlayStation, bring it back. You can make 2 more God of War games, but you're allergic to following up on my boy Delson's story. You can make new Ratchet & Clank games, but you forgot Infamous existed. You can give a Knack a flipping spin-off, but you can't follow up on one of the best PlayStation games of all time. For flip's sake, on the box, you have it as a PlayStation hit. Make a sequel, don't piss me off, man. Old games are better than new games. I mean, that's just the facts. If you take Black Ops 7 and compare it to Black Ops 3, yeah, come on, bro. You know the guys go crazy when they hear ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. It's monumental. And as much as the gaming scene has changed for the better and has made significant improvements to the community as a whole, most of these changes are weak. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but in my opinion, I prefer 2000 to 2010 style graphics compared to the hyper-realistic shit we got going on now. Again, there's exceptions to the rule. Like, you see with the Spider-Man games, I think they look amazing. As much as it does have great gameplay, the cutscenes are phenomenal. It feels like a movie. But when they start adding and doing this to every single type of game, that shit just don't feel right. Games with like a little bit of cartoony but serious undertones will always look much better than games that look like too much. At least that's how it is for me. The style of games we used to have before, like Sonic Adventure 2, Kingdom Hearts, Simpson Hit and Run, like the point is that if you saw the trailer of this, you can definitely tell that it's a game. But with how advanced things have gotten nowadays, it's like if you were to take a movie and a game version of said movie, you couldn't tell the difference. The games are at movie quality. And not to say that's a bad thing, they just want to make it look more cinematic. But there's something about the looks of these types of games that just sit right in my soul. It looks enjoyable already. Like a game one of my friends recommended that I got heavy into when it was locked down and the whole world was finessed was Metal Gear Solid. And I can tell you with complete certainty, this is one of the greatest game franchises of all time. Metal Gear Solid is peak. Get to know, man. If you never played, you need to jump in it now. You won't regret it. And in the games, the graphics of the second and third one were calling out to me. They were beautiful. Not the first one. Snake has no eyes in that game. It's scary. The cutscenes looked amazing. The visuals were spectacular to me. Like at the time, comparing this to other games I was playing as well, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Watch Dogs Legion, even though that shit is ass. I thought MGS looked 50 times better. And these games came out in the early 2000s, so that's crazy. It's just that it feels like a game more when it looks like one than it does to look its best. I get that with technology becoming better, that people just want to put their full-on effort into making a visually stunning game. But when they do that, that's what they only focus on, and then the actual game ends up being trash. Like before Sparking Zero dropped, people were saying this game was about to be legendary, glazing it, saying it was amazing, phenomenal. It was gonna be as peak as Budokai Tenkaichi 3, so it had high expectations already. Then its release came, people would make 5 to 10 Sonic Sway edits on TikTok glazing that mechanic, and then a year later, the game is dead. How? It looks great, plays amazing, but then people just don't jump on this shit no more. A year ago I copped it and Deados forgot that I even had it. It sits in my library collecting dust. That's how small the lifespan of it was. And then when you compare it to other ongoing Dragon Ball fighting games like Fighter Z, people still play that shit and it still gets new updates constantly and new characters. Like how did Sparking Zero die before Fighter Z? Shit, I could be dragging it, but Xenoverse 2 might have more players in that game and it's 8 years old. Anime games were at their peak in the 2010s. Games like the Ninja Storm series, the Xenoverse games, Doritos Crash Course. I know it's not an anime game, but I really wanted to bring it up. And these were the pinnacle of gaming in my childhood. Everyone would gas up the Tenkaichi games and Storm 3. But now fast forward to the present, and you got people coming up with sick ideas, like a Bleach fighting game, Black Clover games, or even Jump Force, which combines all your favorite shonen characters together, and somehow, some way, they're still all terrible. How did Jump Force fail? Take a second to really think about it because it doesn't add up here. A game that brings Goku, Naruto, Luffy, Madara, your own custom character, Jotaro, Asta, and a bunch of other mainline anime characters together, but the game died. Who made this shit? What's the matter with you? It's like the concept to these ideas are amazing. The team are in their room all together brainstorming, coming up with the sickest shit possible, smiling and laughing about them as they write them down on their whiteboard. Then when they come to leave the room to execute said idea, it comes out horrifyingly bad. Like they purposely make the worst choices for their game, just ultimately making it worse in the end. How do you fumble it that much? The goal is right there. You suck. Another thing about games that's mad overdone now is open world. I understand that it was a bit of a craze to be doing amongst a lot of games, since Breath of the Wild kind of changed and revolutionized how open world looked to a lot of developers. But most of the time when it comes to it, there's nothing to do in the worlds that they be making. Like for example, Kingdom Hearts is one of the most fire games to have ever been made. Everybody in there is already posing up like crazy, especially my boy Mickey. Don't play with him. That's the most serious he's ever been. And in the first 2 games, it's like semi-open world, to the point where it isn't too narrow and too limited, but it's not also too much to the point where you can get lost and don't know what the hell you're doing no more. The level design was perfect. Now time skip to Kingdom Hearts 3 and it's open world. And it's terrible. It's too much, man. It's some huge map for no reason. And it's not like Sora is some speedster who can cover the whole thing in 2 seconds. The guy is slow as hell. The fastest he can move is when he flies or locks onto an enemy. There's nothing else in this map for it to be like that. You just run around like a muppet looking for enemies all the time. They did too much here. There was no point for it. The game is fine in terms of its story and gameplay. It's the same as any other Kingdom Hearts game. But the level design is such a letdown. There's nothing here, man. There was no reason for it to be open world. Pokemon has done the same shit as well. When they started getting released onto the Nintendo Switch with Sword and Shield, I thought Sword and Shield was beautiful. The transition to the Switch was good. It was semi-open world, not some huge map with a bunch of random spots. The visuals were nice. My guy Leon is goated. It was a good game. I thought it was sweet. Then came Scarlet and Violet, the next installment in the Pokemon franchise, and they decided to make an open world. And this shit was something else. It's Pokemon! There was no mad extra shit for them to make it like this. They're just trying to compete with Zelda. This game's open world was not it. There wasn't a bunch of things you could do like the shrines or the side quests you could do in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Most of it will be going around catching wild Pokemon. But it didn't have to be open world for that. They could have just done what they did in Sword and Shield again. Why? It was for no reason. And this game is decent. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. It's just mid. The story's aight. The stars, aight. The villain group, aight. The time travel shenanigan bullshit, aight. But the open world choice is bad. I'm just saying, the open worlds are overhyped. If you know there's not a lot to add in your game, there's no point of doing it. They're just forcing it everywhere. It's weak. They kind of did it again in Legends EA. Bear in mind, I haven't played it yet, but I've seen with this game, the graphics are terrible. Like, look at the walls. It looks like something from Looney Tunes. And this is Pokemon. Big company, big money, fat stacks. Guys could probably buy the Eiffel Tower if it was for sale. Put some money in here, man. You can't keep getting away with this. Like, look at the effort Game Freak puts into other games. This shit looks like Wukong. You wouldn't believe it comes from the same people who make Pokemon. And then when it comes to making Pokemon games, of course they cheap out. You're a bastard. Seeing Pokemon games move like this, it breaks my heart. The perfection of 2D, 3D Pokemon when I was a kid needs to be studied. I mean, without a doubt, Platinum is the best Pokemon game. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I think Zekrom is the greatest legendary. Look at him, he's up there. A time when Pokemon was truly ahead of their game. The simplicity, the battles, the story, the legendaries, the mega evolutions, the Z-moves. It was something else. You could tell with every Pokemon game coming out on the 3DS or DS that they put effort into every little detail. They chose to work hard at it. But now they don't even want to put proper rules in their 60-pound game. How are these real people making these games? I'm trying to contemplate it. My brain is breaking here. And some of these new mega evolutions, yeah, get out, man. It just feels like that most games that come out today are forced. Whether that be with half-assed stories, mid-multiplayer with no good game modes, or they're too lazy to make up anything new and they just do a bunch of remakes, which I'm not too pressed about. I played the Resident Evil remakes and they're fire. But it's just that there's something about original releases and older titles that had a lot more weight to it than what comes out now. Like, I recently bought Bayonetta on Steam for like £4 when it was on Black Friday. And this game is amazing. The story's kind of crazy, I ain't gonna lie. A bunch of shit happens and it passes your head. But the way it looks, the gameplay, the quick time events. You know, I love me some quick time events, man. The summoning of the giant monsters you do that finesse the bosses completely. And just everything in general I experienced in this game was like I was a kid enjoying all the games I used to play back then. It was stunning. It's gotten me so gassed about Bayonetta that I'm planning on playing the other two as well. When I can find them cheaper, Nintendo's a bitch. There's something about coming back to older games as an adult that just hits different. With the way I'm seeing a trend of everyone now hopping back on old consoles and tech, like the 3DS or the Xbox 360, Minecraft, The Walking Dead, flipping Sunset Overdrive. If you remember this, you're a legend. It used to be my Xbox profile name. And just a bunch of other games that gives you nostalgia. It's cool to be looking at. It's like it always has a way to bring people back to their best memories and makes us reminisce about the better times in our lives. Also, back then, communities and fan bases were way bigger, especially with horror, like Five Nights at Freddy's, Tattletale, Bendy, Hello Neighbor, Slenderman, flipping Baldi's Basics. Horror in general was a bigger thing when I was a kid growing up than it is now. And gaming in general felt more surreal. Nowadays, it's harder for me personally to get into something new and finish it. I literally have to dedicate myself to it. It's crazy. Maybe it's just me getting older and not being able to relate to the experiences as much as I used to. Maybe because I'm literally punching into my 20s soon that I can't really say I enjoy gaming as much as I did as a kid. Now I'm just really hoping on my PS5 to keep up my relationship with my friends. Besides that, I don't really be gaming as much. But for what it's worth, 2000 and 2010 games changed everything for me. They looked nicer, they felt better to play, they were more immersive, they jump scared you, they made you feel like you were there experiencing the moment alongside the main characters. You could chat to people online and rage bait them in COD. PS communities used to be a thing and you could straight up play games with strangers and eventually make them your friends. Please tell me you were careful when you did that. Gaming felt like more between these years. More of a fulfilling moment in our lives. More than a pastime and a bigger opportunity for you to be on some cold shit. And it's not to say that all games that come out now are garbage or arse. There are some sick titles that have come out in the last couple of years. Like Hi-Fi Rush is a dope-ass rhythm game. DK Bonanza is fire. And even the next few games coming out like Phantom Blade Zero and Wolverine look sick as hell. I'm definitely copying them. But I am saying that looking at what we had growing up in the mid-2000s to the late 2010s, it's unmatched, bro. Let's be real. And the moral of this yapping session, play old games, they're better, trust me. And now we have reached the end of this talk. If you, my people, got any bangers you used to play as a kid and mess with what I spoke about today, let me know in the comments below, man. I love you guys. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.